What if the reason your forgiveness doesn't feel complete is because you're still running background noise? You said you forgave them, you made the decision, you're moving forward, at least in name. But something's off. There's a hesitancy in your voice. There's a buffer in your body. There's a slight lean away instead of toward, like you're physically bracing for a repeat injury. Forgiveness that still expects evidence isn't forgiveness. It's a negotiation. And negotiations aren't wrong, but we should stop calling them forgiveness. See, here's what most people miss. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's not even about approval. Forgiveness is about signal. Can I receive new signals without filtering them through old data? That's what background noise does. It warps new signals. It pre-filters everything before it arrives. So even if the person's behavior has changed, you can't feel it. Even if they're showing up now in ways they didn't before, your emotional bandwidth is still being chewed up by cached trauma, cached tone, cached timing, cached fear. You're watching a new movie, but the projector still has a scratch on the lens. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean jump headfirst into naivety. It doesn't mean ignore patterns or betray your gut. What it does mean is that if you've made a decision to forgive, that decision has to include the decision to receive, to actually interpret their presence now, not just monitor it through your wounds. That's not easy, especially if you were hurt more than once, especially if your trust was worn thin over time, especially if you don't trust your own signal reading anymore. But here's the quiet truth. If you say you've made a choice, but stay in a posture of waiting to see if that choice pays off, you haven't made a choice. You've placed a bet. And maybe that's okay. Maybe you need to bet a little longer before you commit. Maybe you shouldn't call it forgiveness yet. Call it discernment. Call it boundary setting. Call it holding space. But once you do choose forgiveness, choose it fully. That doesn't mean blindly. That doesn't mean stupidly. But it means cleanly. It means choosing without the hum of your own doubt playing in the background, corrupting every signal before it can land. Because here's the deeper shift. When forgiveness is real, it creates elasticity. You stretch instead of snap. You bend instead of break. Your soul becomes more dynamic, not more fragile. You don't erase what happened. You simply stop living according to it. And now the real question isn't just, can I forgive? It's, can I receive today's signals without replaying yesterday's pain?